Hey, this is Russ. I am now at Busse Woods. I've been riding already for about 9 or 10 miles already just to get here. And I wasn't intending on doing Busse Woods today. I was really thinking of just going to Prospect Heights Trail. But the weather was too good. I said, well, I guess I should do it. The weather for the last couple of days have been pretty nice. What time is it right now? Currently it's 9:36. And I believe the weather must be around 70 degrees roughly right now, which of course is my ideal temperature. I think by the time I'm finished with the trail, it'll be around 74. So it's not really going to be that hot. So throughout the time, it should be fairly nice. It's a bright sunny day. I did go to Prospect Heights Trail yesterday. It was an overcast day. I did record that, but I'm not going to release it. Didn't think that recording was really that great. So yeah, we'll replace it with this one. So the Busse Woods Trail is it's pretty long. I think it's over 11 miles. If I ride it twice, that'll be 22 miles. And then about another 20 or so miles round trip to get here and get back. That would be about a 44-mile ride, something like that. But not sure whether I'll do a full 2 times around. We'll see how I feel. Now, an interesting thing is recently I had sewed off a fisheye lens that I had for my photography kit to one of my former students. I was looking at that dog that was trying to come after my bike. They're always trying to come after the bike. So they're always pulling on the leash, trying to head my way. But anyways, I sewed off the lens to a former student. I hadn't used the lens in a long time. I used to use it when I was shooting weddings. I would shoot the entire venue, the entire church, maybe like up in the balcony, use a fisheye lens. You'd see the entire church if you do that. I recall one time too, I was shooting a Jewish wedding, and part of the Jewish tradition is you sign a marriage contract that they call the ketubah. Well, they decided to do this in a very small bedroom, probably a 10 by 10 bedroom. And of course, all of the family wants to see this, so they all crowd into the bedroom. Now, to get that shot, there's no way a wide-angle lens would do it. You wouldn't get everybody. You'd be missing some people. But using the fisheye lens, I was able to get the shot. Now, the thing with the fisheye lens is there's a certain amount of distortion that occurs. Right? It kind of curves on the edges. You've seen that before, I'm sure. And this particular lens is rectilinearly corrected. So, in other words, it's not a round circular photo. It's a rectangular photo, but you know, if you have the edges of the walls and stuff, that's going to curve. But it's either take that curve and get everybody in the shot, or miss a bunch of people. So you kind of need to have a fisheye lens if you're shooting weddings or some other types of events that require an extremely wide angle. But I hadn't used the lens in so long, since the last time I shot a wedding. So I figured, well, I'll just sell it. And then I'll take the funds and buy myself another camera. So anyways, I've been debating on what to get. And of course, I was thinking the GoPro. But the GoPro Hero 9 has a lot of issues, apparently. I didn't know that before I ordered one. I ordered one from GoPro. They had a sale going on for Labor Day. So what they did is they gave you an extra battery and a dual battery charger, and that's worth about $50. if you bought the camera. So I ordered the camera, but then I started reading and noticing YouTube videos of everyone saying that the Hero 9 tends to have a glitch. It tends to freeze up on you and everything. It's got issues. And I don't know whether they've really resolved that issue. So I tried calling in the next day to cancel the order. But of course, they wouldn't let me cancel the order. So their excuse was, oh, it's in shipping right now. It hasn't gone out yet, but it's waiting to be picked up by the carrier. So I says, well, then just cancel it. I mean, it's still sitting in your warehouses. They wouldn't let me do it. So she tells me it's going to have to ship. I can't pull it. It won't allow me to do it. When you get it, you can return it. So who pays for the shipping? More than likely, I will have to pay for the shipping. Now, they have a new one coming out, the Hero 10. I didn't know that either. And from some of the videos I watched, they said it could be coming out this month. Next month at the latest. And apparently the Hero 10 has a new processor in there, where everyone's thinking that that processor is going to fix the glitches. So what happens is the Hero 9 tends to freeze up. Well, that's not good. I mean, you're recording and then all of a sudden it's all frozen up on you and you can't get any of your data back. So I don't need that. So I think the minute it comes in, I'm going to turn around and request a return authorization. And I'm going to tell them I tried to stop you guys and it was less than 24 hours. You wouldn't let me do it. Now I've got to pay shipping to bring it back to you. Now the problem with buying a brand new camera, when the Hero 10 comes out, you don't know what that's going to do either. There's no history of anything yet. And more than likely there's no discounts on anything either. But I kept debating over and over. I said, should I just keep the Hero 9 and deal with the glitches? It'll probably be cheaper in the long run. Or should I take the chance and just forget it and get the Hero 10 when it comes out, hoping that they resolve the issues? Now, apparently there's so much problems with the Hero 9 from a lot of people having this issue. It's got to be a known issue for them. Hopefully they've resolved it. But history has it that the GoPros do have problems all the time. And it could very well be because of that processor. The old processor is like 4 years old. Maybe they've never really resolved that problem with that processor. Now they've got the new one with the new processor. Hopefully that resolves it. Or it may cause additional problems. Who knows? So I will probably lose a little bit of money on shipping it back to them. Hopefully they refund all of the money. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, it's all in an effort to try to make better videos for you guys. The whole point of this, at least the Hero 9, I'm sure the Hero 10 has it too, because they mention in the leaks where they tell you about things they expect the new camera to have, that the stabilization is extremely good on this camera. So if we get it, hopefully you won't see as many bouncing going on when I'm recording. And you'll be recording at about 5K with the old Hero 9. The Hero 10 records at 5.3K and as fast as 60 frames a second. The old one only records up to 30 frames a second at 5K. I've seen some footage from other YouTubers and the quality is really good for an action camera. I think it's going to look better than the Canon camera that I have currently. Now, as a photography thing, the Canon camera is a better camera. It's a 1-inch sensor. The GoPro has a smaller sensor. Not as good for photography, but you know, for action purposes where you're talking about video, the GoPro should be a better choice. Now the problem with the small sensor is typically they don't do very well in low light. But again, most people who use a GoPro use it for outdoor things like what I'm doing right now. And so the low light issue really isn't that bad. But again, look, if you go into this shaded area here, you might have some problems. Might be a little more noisy on the image. But overall, the benefits outweigh the drawbacks. But a glitch, that would be bad. So obviously we don't want cameras freezing up on us. People are out fishing today. So, as I had hoped that I would be using this new camera sometime this week, I don't think so. I think I'm going to immediately call for a return authorization, send it back to them. That's a really bad policy, don't you think? You can't cancel the order because it's sitting on the dock waiting to be shipped out. Hold the order. That's ridiculous. These are the problems we have with companies, right? And this was ordered directly from GoPro. This was not ordered through a photography store or anything like that. So, Busse Woods, yeah, I haven't been here for a little bit. Seems to be more people out fishing. It is getting to that time where it's cooler. I should be fishing for salmon off of Lake Michigan, but it was told to me that fishing wasn't that great this year. Now, it's been bad every single year, progressively getting worse. And this year we're not going up to Wisconsin. We're actually going to be trying to fish out of Chicago. And they don't stock with as much fish in Chicago. So they do more stocking of fish up in Wisconsin. But being out of state, fishing license in Wisconsin would be something like $65 versus, I don't know what it is here locally, $15 plus salmon stamp. I don't know how much that is, $5-6 more, I don't know, something like that. I haven't fished in a long time on Lake Michigan. We did it earlier in the spring, but we didn't have any luck. I don't know if our luck will increase here as we come towards the fall, but this is around the time that we should be fishing for salmon. The salmon is not native to Lake Michigan. It's actually stocked in there. They did it to cut down on the alewives population. And ever since then, they said, hey, let's just keep stocking salmon in there. So that's why we have salmon in Lake Michigan. All right, I think it's time for me to reset my camera. We hit a certain amount of time, we have to reset it. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to go to the GoPro, so I wouldn't have to deal with this all the time. So let's do a reset here. All right. There's a lot of water around us here. Well, nobody's fishing in this area here. Yeah, I keep saying that I'm going to bring a fishing rod, and then I never do it. I am using the microphone from the Canon camera. I did not hook up the external digital audio recorder again. So you might be wondering about the GoPro. I think the GoPro audio is not that great either. I think our best bet really is to continue using the microphone that's on my helmet and using the external recorder. But the one benefit is if the GoPro is able to record more than 16 minutes and just kind of continue running, which I believe it does, then I set up the digital audio recorder once and let that run all the way through too. I don't have to segment it, just like segmenting these Canon camera recordings. I have to segment the digital audio recording too, so that everything can sync up later. So it should make my life easier. Hopefully we'll get more stable video. Things won't bounce as much. Hopefully. But at this point, I think I'm going to try to go for the new one when it comes out. And return the one that I ordered. So that's what's new with the photography end of things, the videography end of things. Let me tell you some other stories. There's always stories to tell you. Now, this past weekend was Labor Day weekend, and we attended a wedding reception on Sunday. Now, you might think Sunday is a little strange to have a wedding thing going on, but you know, the next day is Monday, which is Labor Day, so nobody had to go to work. So really, it was not a bad thing. Now, the wedding itself had actually occurred about a year ago, but due to the pandemic situation, nobody was ever really able to go to the wedding, and it was out of state on top of that. At least I believe it was out of state. Yeah, it was out of state. So the couple decided to hold the reception a year later. Now, when they made the announcement for the wedding reception, pandemic was dropping quite a bit. But of course, by the time the reception happens, after invitations are sent out, you know, we got the Delta variant and a whole bunch of other variants going on now. So everyone was a little nervous about attending the reception. But everyone had masks on. I think that was really the smartest thing to do, is to mask up. So virtually everybody had a mask on. But the problem is that when you're eating indoors, you can't mask up. Now, the people at our table was my wife's family, so we have to kind of trust that they're okay, but you really never know, right? So when you're eating, you're not masked up, but the minute we're done eating, immediately we put the mask on. Now, this particular reception hall, we heard that a wedding a week or two beforehand had 95 people break out with COVID. Now, hearing that did not give us a whole lot of confidence, learning that was the venue that had 95 people with COVID. You know, not that it hangs around or anything for a couple of weeks, but still. Kind of tells you that, you know, receptions and things are not really a safe thing to be at. And we're not over and done with these whole wedding receptions. I got another one to go to in October. So, yeah, it's invitation went out early again. But again, by the time the reception happens, we got all the variants. Can't win. Yeah, it's getting really old. Can't wait until this whole pandemic thing is over with. I don't know if it will ever really be over with, but at least controlled, right? Alright, we're in the area where the elk are, I believe. Good morning. I'm going to look over to see if we see any elk. The elk are usually hiding. So a lot of times you don't really see them. And so far, I don't see them. Nope. Not in this area here. I can't see them at all. Going a little slower. I think that's about it. They must be on the other side. So what do you guys think of Busse Woods? You guys like this ride? I like this trail. This one goes around in a circle, but it's like an 11-mile circle. You do the 3-mile path, and you're just riding around in a circle pretty quickly. Plus, we have more covered area. There's more trees that you're going underneath. So there is some shade and everything that happens. I know on the videos it makes it tougher because you're going in and out of brightness levels. And the automatic functions on these cameras don't always pick up brightness levels perfectly fast enough, that is. We'll see how this video comes out. Now, interestingly, I've seen a number of people so far who have masks on while they're riding their bike. There's two reasons that could happen. Either they're afraid of the COVID-19 situation, picking up that from other people as they pass them, or they have allergies and they're trying to avoid allergies from going through this forest preserve. I mean, I know I've mentioned before, going through the Prospect Heights Trail, if you have allergies, you definitely want to mask up because there's a lot of weeds and things. I mean, I don't think they call them weeds, they call them vegetation. But to me, it's a lot of weeds. Here in the forest preserve, I'm sure you have that too, but it seems to be more forest, right? So I don't know. I don't know if you really need to mask up for that. But hey, I don't have allergies, so I really don't know. And I know it's terrible for those people who have it. So I've been doing about, on average, about 17 or so miles an hour, I think, on this path so far. Combination of throttling and pedaling. There's a little bit of both. And we don't see too many rollerbladers anymore, but here they are. On your left. On your left. Passing is always an issue because you never know if someone's coming on the other way, you know. So my intention was to pass, but then all of a sudden I saw there was a bike guy on the other lane, so I had to wait. So battery has been doing pretty well. I don't know what the maximum amount is on that second new battery. We know that we can get at least 44 miles out of it. So to be on the safe side, I'm no longer claiming 100-mile range between the two batteries. We know one of them does at least 49, the other one does at least 44, maybe more, because it was only on its second run when we got 44. I'm going to call it at 90-mile range. If I call it 90 miles, I'm safe no matter how I ride. Because as you know, I can get actually even more mileage out of it if I use the lower pedal assist. But since getting these batteries, I'm pretty much staying on pedal assist level 3, which uses about half wattage. It's about 353 watts every time you pedal. If you drop down to 2, let's see what it is if I drop down to 2 and you pedal, you're at 178. So obviously you get more range if you pedal at 2, but I like a little more speed, so I'm willing to give up a little bit of battery power. Now, that's okay because there's so much battery power to be had between the two batteries that I get the benefit of both. I get the speed and I get the range at the same time. So I'm not riding it like other people might ride it to conserve battery power. I'm riding it at pedal assist level 3 so that I can get on average between 15 to 18 miles an hour with easily pedaling. And then on top of that, I can get about 90 miles of range or more. So that's pedaling and also throttling at least half the time. Full pedaling, I'd get even more, obviously, but I'm not killing myself by trying to pedal fast on level 2. Now, if you're in it for the exercise, yeah, you should drop it down. But you know, I want both options. So we're still going, and we haven't even made it through across once on the circle. Busse Woods is quite long. The path is quite long. Yeah, still fairly cool out here. You know, one thing I would like to have had on this display of this bike would be a thermometer. I know that the new radrover 6, I believe, has that ability on their display, but the radrover 5 does not. Now I could carry along with me a thermometer, or I can just look on my iPhone and see what the weather is in the area that I'm at. But just out of convenience, it would have been easier if it was just on your bike display. I do keep the headlight on, and I'm blinking in the back on the tail light. I've been doing that more often now. It just makes you more visible. Oh, I had a request from someone asking if I would do a night video, riding at night. I'll think about it. I'm not really sure. It's a hazard I don't really want to deal with, quite frankly. But there are times that I do go out early in the mornings, which is essentially like going out at night. Maybe one day I might go out a little earlier when it's actually pitch black out there. But you know, if you go out early in the morning, there's less cars. If I do it in the evening, there's still cars. So I'll think about it. I'm not really sure whether I would do it or I won't, but I will think about it. The headlight on this bike is not really that great. A lot of people complain about it. I mean, you can use it for what I'm using for, just so people know that you're there, but it really doesn't light up the whole path in front of you. You need a better light for that. And so that's also another reason why I really don't want to consider it. But again, early in the morning, with a lot less cars out, it may not be so bad. We'll see. And it's getting colder on top of that too. Alright, anyways, I think this video is long enough. I appreciate you guys coming along with me. And if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys next time.